All right, good afternoon, everyone. Grace, are we ready? Hello, Grace.
Sam, yes, we're ready.
All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, all American spaces in Nigeria, everyone across all the way from Gombe to Ikeja to Bauchi to Jos to Mina, Zaria. We say good afternoon to you all, and beautiful and handsome guests at American Center Abuja. We also say good afternoon to you. Welcome to the week two of the the Youth Development Series. All right. So this afternoon we will be discussing a very interesting and a wonderful topic. As you know, that we are looking at the topic reinventing yourself and looking at the digital economy. Today we have a wonderful guest in our midst, facilitator. Sorry to say, sorry about that. A facilitator that will be doing justice to the topic of today, and is an alum of the UX Exchange program, and is a pharmacist by, would I say, by profession, and a supply chain professional by love, whichever one. But I'm sure you'll be able to do justice to the topic this afternoon. So this afternoon we have a pharmacist, Ifeakandu Ume, who is a pharmacist and public health supply chain professional with over 80 years of experience supporting major health programs for organizations like UNICEF, Gavi, CDC, and the Global Fund. He is a certified supply chain analyst and holds advanced certification from institutions including MIT and London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. Ifeakandu earned a master's in logistics and supply chain management and a bachelor of pharmacy, and is a member of several professional bodies in logistics and pharmacy. He is actively involved in leadership roles within the UX Exchange Alumni Association and founded Purple Sapphire Health Initiative, advocating for epilepsy care and awareness. He leads various community health and social initiatives and enjoys classical music, hiking, and tourism in his free time. So, every one of us, please, can we put our hands together this afternoon for pharmacist Ifeakandu Ume? Good afternoon once again, pharmacist Ifeakandu. I am so sure that you are ready for us. So we have probably about an hour thereabout for you to speak to us, and thereafter you take questions from across all the American spaces. Just for you to know, we have about 23 people watching. When I say people, I mean spaces that are connected. I'm sure you can see from your screen. Each of them have lots of participants gathered together to listen to you. And I'm so sure that by the end of today, we'll leave this space better than we have come to reinvent ourselves and take advantage of the digital economy. So once again, you are welcome, and over to you, Grace.
Okay. So today we have the honor of having the speaker in our midst. I'll just let him say one or two things for introduction.
Hello. So good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, it's an honor to be here with you. I am pharmacist Ifeakandu Ume, as I've introduced, and I've taken a session which focused on thriving in the modern world of work. So you can look now. Yeah.
This one.
Yes. Sure, this is- That's okay.
Okay.
Basically,
Where's the share button?
Challenge again.
Mhm.
Have you shared?
yeah, not share.
We have not shared.
Let's go down. Where's this one? Let's go down.
Mhm.
This where you are, right?
Yeah.
Share.
Let's so put it on slideshow.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone and welcome. So
Ask them if they are seeing your screen.
can you see my screen? Hello Lagos, hello Kano. Can you see my screen? Who is in Lagos? Who is?
Yes, from American Center we can.
Okay, can other centers confirm if they can see my screen?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, good afternoon from Sokoto. We can see your screen.
Okay, great, thank you. So welcome everyone once again. So the series we have the Youth Development Series, and it's talking about reinventing yourself and the digital economy. We are aware the world has changed from we moved from centuries. So and as we move with centuries, advancements come in and we evolve and so many things come up. So that is why it's important that we're talking about this type of topic that says thriving in modern world of work. So you know that workspace has shifted from traditional to another generation. So this is myself. I am pharmacist Ifeakandu Ume, PMP certified MIT, and I'm working in the health and wellness sector. And I'm a US 2018 exchange alumnus, and I also happen to be the vice president of United States Government Exchange Alumni Association of Nigeria, North Central. So that's me in a brief. And then we were looking at the topic. Louder, can you hear?
Yes, more louder.
Okay, so we'll be looking at the topic from two lenses, two objectives: digital empowerment and economic growth, and then employment and opportunity access. Digital empowerment, so you understand why we are talking about um, digital economy, empower you to have the skills and the tools for this modern day of work. And then we discuss how do you come in, because the entryways for the work in the 19th century and today there's a lot of difference. So you need to understand that the way you enter workspace before now is not the way you enter it today. So and you'll be able to stay abreast of the different of the developments and you'll be able to gain your entryways. So yes, so this is basically the changing world of work. It's also what we call the future of work, which is we advanced fully into this from COVID-19. When COVID-19 happened in 2020, so the advancement was moving slowly. We were moving, in the year 2000, there was the Y2K talks and all of that, talking about digital age, but COVID-19 lockdown in 2020 fully launched us into the future of work, and that's where we are today. And we had experienced a rise of remote work and digital first career. So remote work, because of COVID-19, people had to shut down and go home and then start working from their houses. And that bettered what we call today the future of work that has come to stay. And it's not going anywhere. Some organizations today have not gone back to the offices, or they do mostly hybrid. And that also brought in the digital first, because if you are working from your home, how do you do the traditional work you are previously doing at home? It means that you most time now have to use your laptops, you have to use the tools that will make you to be able to work collaboratively, because now the current work means collaboration. So you are able to stay in Nigeria and work with somebody in the United States and work with somebody in London. So I have colleagues across the globe that you work with, put a call across the way and work with them. And also brought in automation. So some of the tasks that were done manually before have been automated. I don't think if you go to office, and I don't know how many persons are still carrying files and folders and all of that. A lot of things are now, we have SharePoint, you have drives, put everything there. So somebody can be in Enugu and access a document that somebody prepared in Lagos, and that's brought in that. So AI too, and now know ChatGPT, know Grok on Twitter, which a lot of people also use for fact checking. Where you say something, somebody can come in there and then fact check you with Grok, and then you be careful what you're saying. And then there's also ChatGPT that now you can refine your ideas with ChatGPT and it helps you what you're saying. And the gig economy. So the gig economy is freelance. So there are people now who do freelance. They are not going to get employed by anybody. They are not interested in the paid employment. They just do their freelance and they get paid and they make their money and they thrive by that. And so in the changing world of work, what is important? So he brought in the importance of adaptability and digital skills. There's a need for you to adapt. So you move from, if you were in the previous century that worked from their offices and the desks, there's a need for you to adapt to this modern way of work and acquire the digital skills. And one thing that is non-negotiable in the modern day of work is continuous learning, because there are things before that you don't know and that you need to know now. So now we're not talking about hard work again. We're not talking about smart work. So how do you stay abreast of the developments? How do you stay afloat? How do you thrive? So continuous learning is one of the ways. And it also brought in global competition opportunities. So now, digital future of work made it a global village. So we are competing for roles with somebody that is in the US, competing for roles somebody that is in Netherlands, and you are competing for the same roles, and they're looking for who has the best skills. And so you need to also understand, we need to understand that this has changed, this has brought in this competition, and then how do we beat the competition? Which is why we're talking about thriving in the modern world of work. So here, digital empowerment and economic growth. Diving into objective one, why digital empowerment? This is because the 21st century tools now is the digital tools now exist, and for you to thrive, you need to have those tools. And the tools help you to be more productive. So a task you mostly before now do in 1 hour, 2 days, if you have if you are abreast have your digital tools, you know that you can do that work in less time. So that is why there's need for you to be digitally empowered. And if you are digitally empowered, it also drives economic growth because you are able to have more skills, you are able to do more, and then now you can have your traditional job and then you have other things you are doing because you have that skill, and then you have multiple streams of income, not just from one person. So that is why it's also important. So digital empowerment drives economic growth for you if you are digitally empowered. And so now, why digital empowerment matters? So you see, we listed here tools that drive productivity, like I mentioned earlier, as productivity tools now, digital space drive productivity tools. We have the Google, we have the Workspace, we have the LinkedIn, we have the Canva, we have Microsoft Offices. So all these tools listed here, so many workplaces use them and also used for different purposes. The Google Workspace, people have a lot of tools you can work and do different things. Depending on the one your organization decides to adopt, you can do so many things there. The LinkedIn there, you are able to put up your profile. Gone are the days where you have to print your CV, type it, put it in an envelope, start going to somebody's office to go and submit it, and then wait till they call me for interview and start going to the office to go and sit and wait for my turn. You have the LinkedIn there. We make good use of LinkedIn. Your recruiter is in London, hires you in Nigeria, and then you start to work in Enugu while your office is in Abuja. Have you seen how it's now a global village? And you go Canvas. So presentations, designs, graphics these days have all gone into that space where you need tools like Canva to be able to put up designs. And before now, you have to go to a printer. The printer will design. You print from the printer. You carry it back. You are carrying lots of papers. Now you have Canva. You design your graphics, put it up. Nobody's carrying papers all around. So that's the future work. The future of work that we are, and that's modern age. And going into Microsoft Office, depending also similar to Workspace, gives also that collaborative environment and other tools you need to work. And then another thing is building your digital presence. You have your CVs, you have your video pitch, you have your LinkedIn profile. Hope we are following.
Yes.
Okay. I hope the trust I'm not preaching. You're following you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's continue. So pointing out the digital tools here now, we have Google Workspace, of which the purpose is collaboration and productivity. So just like I mentioned, there are use cases. You have Doc. So you are preparing a document here together with your colleague that is somewhere else, and then both of you are putting in the same content on the Doc, and it is syncing live. So real time, you have that that document there, and everybody's able to put in, making their input from the comfort of their home. It's not before where you have to draft a memo, carry the memo to the office, or this person signs, this person signs, you carry it all about. Now, inputs are made live on doc. The Meet for teamwork. So you can work on Meet somebody's, like now we are using Zoom, is one of that also. Meet for functions that way, and everybody's connected from the comfort of their homes and they follow you what you're doing. You have the Google Sheets like Excel that's also live. So instead of when somebody finishes doing in the Excel, they send you via mail. You put live on the Google Sheet. Everybody makes the input and sees it live. LinkedIn for professional networking, job search, and putting up your profile, like I said earlier. And then you have the Canva for visual design. Make your resume, prepare your resume. You do your pitch decks. Pitch decks are where you people who are most times in the business development world to use the pitch deck more. So why it's called elevator pitch? Because the idea is that you walk into an elevator with a CEO and you see that CEO and you see like within that short means you're able to say what we convince the CEO to come and partner with your firm or work with your firm. That's the elevator pitch. So within that short time frame by which you are in the ground floor and you're going to the second floor, you have finished saying everything. So this also gives the idea to, instead of that typical traditional elevator pitch you have to do, you're able to put in your pitch in a small short video and you present that somebody listens and gets your idea. And social media posts, yes. Social media, yes. You're able to also use Canva, make some good designs that you put up on social media. And then Microsoft also functions for productivity and communication. You have different types of them platforms. You have the Word that you do word processing. You have the PowerPoints that you do your presentations. You have the Excel spreadsheets, the Outlook that you have your mails. And so different organizations now use Outlook. So you're able to put in your mails there and then you send your mails. Makes it easier for you. Teams for communication. So typically in some organization now, Teams is what is the workspace, is the office. So you're able to have discussions with your colleagues, ask questions, okay, guide me on this, and you talk on Teams, all of that. And it's not everybody have started using that in organization, but that's the practical. Immigration is the practical, so you're able to have all your talk or your meetings, everything you need to do, plan your day, plan your calendar, and everything is there. Communicate with everybody across the globe. If your colleague is working in London, you search the colleague's name and the colleague name comes and you ask the colleague for an idea, and the colleague shares with you, and you go back to your work you're doing, and you're able to do that work. You have gotten the idea of somebody in London without having to put up a phone call. And now you have OneDrive for cloud storage. So storage of your files, you do all your files, and then you have a place where you store it. Unlike traditional ways where we have cabinets, you carry files and put in cabinets, and when you need those files, you start pulling out the files to now be able to do what you need to do. So that is what the modern world of work is doing for us. Reducing carbon footprints, reducing the load of documents not to carry, helping us work smarter, helping us connect better, helping us communicate better. So, and that's modern world of work. And it's also important that we understand ourselves that it has changed. It's no longer as it used to be. And you need to stay abreast of the recent developments. And that's why conversations like these are very important for the young persons to understand what is there. And you also, who is already in the workspace, to be able to know that you need to compete differently now, because there are people who now have better skills that can do your job better than you do, and are younger than you, and they compete for the same role, and they do it in shorter time than you can do it. And then if somebody else can do your job in shorter time than you can do it, why should I keep you in my employment? Send you home. And that's the reality of today. So building your digital portfolio, having your CVs tailored, keyword optimized, and visually appealing. So it's not now when you just write in a CV, have to make your CV, because now what the reality is also is that there's ATS that screens your CV when you send it for an application. It searches for the keywords. We are looking for a social media manager who has managed social media for 10 organizations in 5 years, has worked in agri-sector, tech, and health sector. And if the ATS, those are the keywords on the ATS, and the ATS looks for your CV, I just go shortlist candidates that meets your criteria, use criteria and searches your CV. And if those keywords are not in your CV, it throws you out and you're not getting callbacks from your application. So that is why also your CV needs to be tailored to the job, keyword optimized so that ATS can pick it and then visually appealing, because there are some CVs that they're just, I would like call it color shaded, color coded differently, that you can't able to read the text inside it. The essence of your CV is to communicate who you are and talk for you when you are not in the house. So your CV is you in absentia, and that is why it's also important that you have it visually appealing and crystal clear for somebody to read. And then the video pitch, just like I mentioned earlier, elevator pitch. So back to it now. You prepare video pitch. So people that do brand management today, communications managers, social media managers, and business developers, business managers. So they need to, sorry, somebody's mic. Can you please mute your mic? Thank you. So now you're able to sit down, put up your video, talk all your points, edit it, make it to be concise. And when you are sending a portfolio, you have a portfolio that have your CVs, that have all the work you have done, has a video pitch, and you send it to the person you have spoken to before. You do a mail and send this to the person. And the person looks at it, I've seen your CV, I've seen all your work you have done, and then I look at your pitch and I know, are you offering me what I want? If you're offering me what I want, I bring you to the table. If you're not offering me what I want, I move to the next person. And that is also important. You know, you understand that check your work. The typical work you do now, is it does it apply to this? And the work you are looking for, because yes, apart from the work you're doing, the work you're also looking for, is this required? So while you are preparing your CV, if your sector requires that, make sure you have a portfolio that includes your video pitch so that you're able to communicate. And then that talks for you when you're not in that room. And you're compete, like I said again, the one you want to work on brought in global competition. So we need to compete better, and having these skills equips you to compete better. And then LinkedIn profile, having your professional photo, your headline, your skills, endorsement. So you're able to structure it in a way that your face is there. So if I want to know who is John Esther, I go to LinkedIn and search for John Esther that applied for work, and then I see John Esther. There, I put a face to the name, and I look at, okay, what is the educational background for John Esther, and I see everything there. What are the skills? I see there. Who has John Esther worked with before, and who can attest to what John Esther can do? So that's why endorsement comes in. People give you recommendations. The recommendations you see on LinkedIn is like works in that way. That's endorsement. Somebody calls somebody, a manager or person who has worked with you is able to go there and say, John Esther is a good candidate. I've worked with him and I recommend him for you. So that makes the hiring manager to have more confidence in bringing you to the table. I think these days I see some LinkedIn profiles who just structure it anyhow. It doesn't really capture who you are. It's scanty, put all the details, and that sort of doesn't serve the purpose. Your LinkedIn is your live CV. So while you are sending CVs by mail in your system, your LinkedIn is your live CV. So some people don't need to ask you, some jobs don't need to ask you for CVs. There's easy to apply. There are some jobs that are easy to apply on LinkedIn. And some recruiters, LinkedIn have premium and the normal one that people use. Some recruiters who are hiring managers go on LinkedIn and they search for who they want to hire. And if you have everything there, all your work and everything, records, certificate, everything there, you've made the job easier. So that's also building digital portfolio and positioning. One thing that is very important in this modern day of work is positioning. You need to position yourself for opportunities. So it's not you say, I'm not getting feedback, nobody's talking to me, I'm not going to. Have you positioned yourself better? Do you know how to position yourself where you'll be seen? And does your profile and your documents and everything speak for you when you are not in the room? And when somebody just looking around looking for people, and you don't know that somebody looking for you. So let's so look at some case studies of digital success stories, what is happening now. First reference is Amazon. Amazon came in, start having in logistics space, Amazon built a very big warehouses where whatever you need. What we have today, we have Nexus and we have ShopRite. They're all originated from Amazon style of having those everything. So they are very able to package everything fast and saying that good and service a lot of persons. And that is what Amazon started. And now we have what them for offering what's called cloud services. So for Amazon, we have cloud services where you are able to host your websites on the cloud, put your information on the cloud, and save all those information on the cloud. And also remote work culture also, where you are working from your house, you are getting paid and you don't need to go to office. And Microsoft as an organization carries out digital skilling initiatives and inclusive hiring. And this has brought in so many. So organizations like Andela, we are one of the persons that we're getting kind of grants from Microsoft and all of that. And then Microsoft is during their own trainings and coming up to help tech people. So before now, I don't need to a lot of people know what we call about UI UX developer and all of those things. So by the time they came into the space, Sam brought in these digital skill initiatives. That's who tend to know that beyond applying for secretary, beyond applying for manager in one office, by applying for a cleaner, there are other things that I'm talking about that are different from the traditional roles I know and I can apply for. And Google also, online learning, grow with Google programs like that, there are boot camps, they do like that, and innovation hubs across the globe where you have young developers, young tech enthusiasts coming up and they're able to learn. So what inference are we driving from digital social is that the importance of adaptability, knowing that you have to adapt to the modern world and be able to follow what is happening in the modern world. Innovation. So there's so many innovations. Even as we are talking about this Google and Microsoft, they're still thinking of new in their hub and work. They're still thinking of new apps, new smart tools that can be used, and they're putting it up there, and that's driving innovation. Digital fluency. So people are able to now know that apart from having before now, I know we have what we call the desk laptops, desk computers that you just go there when you finish your work, it's done and you go home. But now we have laptops that are moving around. So that digital fluency, are you able to, beyond having your laptops, are you able to make use of the tools therein to deliver on your job? Because like I mentioned before, the era of hard work has gone. It's now smart work. Who is able to beat the time? Who is beating that time for us, and who is giving us inputs, outputs, the outputs that we want. So we're moving to the second objective, which is employment and opportunity access. So we can discuss how do you now enter this modern workspace and how do you come in there and the pathways. So this is the pathway in digital economy. You have remote job applications now. So remote job applications. You stay in your house, you make your job applications, you're not going to anybody's office. You go online, you see those, you send your mail, submit your documents, and then go about. It's no longer before now, jobs which are they advertise jobs in newspapers, they advertise it in on notice boards. So you travel from your house, go there, you look at the notice board, you see, oh, they're looking for an accountant, and then you go back home, you go to the cyber cafe, you start preparing your CVs and you travel back to that place again to go and submit that document. And then you go back again and you wait for it to be that's a whole lot of stress. And the modern future of work has come to save us that stress. So that's now you have remote job applications that happens, and now you also have remote work itself. Entrepreneurship. This is also coming for freelance, we do freelance. So you're able to now learn there's virtual assistants, things like that. Graphic designers learn graphic designing for things from Canva and all of that, and then they sit down, that's their job. They do graphic designing for people all around the globe and they pay their money. And People also, you can do advisory services. So you learn skills on how, let's say, how to guide businesses to develop business plans. And that becomes your role. And you have learned it. And you stay in your house, and that's your job, that's what you are doing. And you're able to do that because the digital space have equipped you with certain skills to walk around and prepare business plans for companies and advise them, and use your internet to get all the information you need and advise them better. And you are in your house and they are in the office. Online upskilling too. So this pathway is online upskilling. So you need to understand that now there are platforms to upskill. Coursera is there, EDX is there, LinkedIn Learning is there. So you go in there and then you search for courses that that applies to the skills you are looking for. So it's not like before that I want to be a secretary of secretarial studies. You go start enroll to do secretarial studies, you learn secretarial studies, you come out. You are a medical doctor and you want to know how secretaries work, do their job better. You go there, you take some courses there, you understand that. So one other thing that's important in this modern day of work is knowing a little bit of everything. You have your own role that you are playing. You have the skills that are helping you grow. But are you curious enough to try to know a little bit of every other thing, so that when you come into a room, somebody mentions a particular time or a particular space, you are able to relate to that. And then, so this platform exists for that's number one, that's curiosity. Number two, equipping you with the knowledge to also know more than one thing. The entry pathways for job now has changed, and you need to also stay abreast of that. So yeah, so these are job portals or remote jobs. You have portals like Indeed, Jobberman, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, My Job Mark. They talk about, you go there and you see roles advertised and you're able to, some of them require you to register. LinkedIn require you to put up that's your CV. Jobberman also require populate your credentials there. Indeed, you put up there, and Glassdoor, you get reviews of companies. Let's say companies you want to know because these days now, what future work helps us to do is that I am employing you, you are employing me. It's a two-way game now. So while your employer is looking to employ you, you're also looking to employ your employer, because you want to know, is this employer right for me? Is it a toxic workspace where I go there and my head doesn't come out? Will it affect my mental health? Will I survive there? And then do they even pay well? So instead of, before you now go for interviews, you go to Glassdoor, you ask for reviews and look at the reviews, see the reviews, and then they tell you, oh, this firm. You see comments from people put on reviews, see the comments from people. You see the pay range, Glassdoor gives you the pay range of that company, and you say, you know what, this is not what time. You go your way. And it gives you good reviews. You have the confidence to now, if you give you good review, you have the confidence to pursue that job. So that helps you to prepare better to pursue that role. And My Job Bank advertises role for you. And remote, yeah, so remote work. So there's some work that you just basically do from your house now. University of Maryland is looking for project management support, and you have that skill. You are in your house in Abuja, and you apply there, and they're having their project live in University of Maryland, and you are working with them here in Nigeria, and you are earning and you are living fine. You're not going to any office, you are in your house. Remote, okay, we work remotely, also work that way. You can see those roles there. Gigs, like I mentioned earlier, freelance. So Upwork, Fiverr, TopTown. Have you heard for the term ghostwriters? Yes, good. So ghostwriters, somebody needs to write a book and the person doesn't have all the time. He has the ideas to write the book and then he doesn't want to sit down and start writing it. You come in, go on Upwork, hire a ghostwriter, tell the ghostwriter what he wants, and then ghostwriter gets to work and they're able to interact. And somebody needs a PA and doesn't want to hire a PA physically, goes Upwork, Fiverr, TopTown, and hires somebody there who is able to work for it. And then when you do your jobs, get good reviews from people you have done the jobs for, is there seen there on your portal and your profile, and then that also helps to recommend you for more roles. People are coming for you, and you are freelancing, getting paid in the comfort of your home, and you are living fine. Yeah, so the upskilling platforms, Coursera, Fusion Learn, they have university level courses. So the universities have courses there. Some courses are like foundational courses where you come in there and then you take those courses and you get certificates from those universities. And frequently you have audit mode. So if you want to know what it entails in a course, you can audit it. Auditing means go through the first phase of the course to understand what is there, what is it talking about, is it relevant to me, and then if it is, you can then continue to the paid mode. So you can audit one or two courses and get the prior, what's that? Prior view of the courses. EDX, Udemy, academic and tech skills. So you go there, there's an audit mode, your did course. And EDX is so good that there are some scholars can give you 90% scholarship on some courses. EDX has something that's Udemy also has something like MicroMasters. So if you can be in Nigeria, you don't want to go to a Nigerian school to do your masters. You can do a MicroMaster. So you go there, there's some programs that are packed together as MicroMaster. So when you do program 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of it, you write the comprehensive exam after that program, and then you get a MicroMasters. They're designed by universities across the globe, and then you pay attention because they are not not your typical education. Some of them are the same curriculum they use for their physical person is what they use for you, and it's quite tasky, and then you do that. And because they recognize that there are people who have financial hardship. So when you reach a certain point, you apply for scholarship to be able to complete that course. You tell them, they give you some lessons to write, you tell them, oh, I really love this course, but I can't afford it to financial control. They understand you. People have gotten a 90% scholarships. A good example is I have a supply chain group hub where I mentor young supply chain professionals, and we have them there, and they're doing macro-masters with Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and they are in Nigeria. So they're able to do those courses, get scholarships, and that if the course is $399, you get 90% scholarship, so you pay $39.9 now. So you're not gonna pay. You know what it means paying $399 in Nigerian currency. And when you're paying 39.9, you know the difference. You can see the difference. So yeah. So that helps them. You get those scholarships there, and then you are able to do your courses. And LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn has career focused skills that's helping you. This course now I'm talking about, this thing I'm talking about now, thriving in the modern world of work. I'm very sure that if you go to LinkedIn Learning, LinkedIn here we have some courses talking about productivity, future of work, so we say afloat, KPIs, measuring your performance, things like that. You see it on LinkedIn. Career focused skills that will help you in the office, so that when the difference between Joanne and John is the skills. So when you have the skill sets, you're able to differentiate yourself from your colleague, and LinkedIn Learning can tell you things like, how do I work with a difficult manager? There's no university that teaches you this, and you have to work with that manager to get your work. How do I beat tight deadlines? These are career focused skills that you go to LinkedIn Learning with LinkedIn Premium, you pick up those courses, and then you do it and get your certificates. Yes, Yali also does. So Yali.state.gov also have some courses like that. So Yali.state.gov, but Yali Network also have things like that. That's also you can leverage. Just take those courses also to have a review. Like I said, the importance of this modern world of work is knowing a little bit of everything. So you're not just lost, you're not just in a room when people say talking about it. That now we know that they are registers. So let's say you are in a room where you have legal luminaries and they're talking about legal registers, you don't even know anything about it. You just be looking around and be moping. But if you're somebody who's curious, who tries to know everything, you'll be able to relate. But if you're just in your world where you do your, let's say your job is whatever your job is, or laboratory scientist, just do laboratory scientist work, you finish it, you go home, that's it. You're not curious about what happens in the other world. A time will come, you phase out. As important as your skills is, as part of your job role is, you face out because you're not staying after. So I hate to break it to you. This modern world of work is, people go to school these days, they come back and say, I've graduated, the pharmacist, I've finished that, so now I can go and sleep. No rest for you. There's no rest. So this modern world of work is what we can also say, no rest for the wicked. So you are the wicked person who trying the modern world of work, and that's no rest for you. So you have to be able to keep learning. Even if you're 70, you have to keep learning, because if you don't learn, when conversations are ongoing, you not follow. So the learning is continuous in this modern world of work. So yeah, so let's look at entry pathways. Volunteering first for people that, let's say, the NGOs, health persons, apart from health persons, development focus, that you have NGOs, you have volunteers. So one of the best ways to get entry points to NGOs is volunteering, which is why I also hammer to young persons. This happens very well in Lagos. Lagosians have understood what these 4 points are understood very well, that as early as secondary schools, students are going to firms, doing internships, working there. You might think, is it time? Why are they rushing? They're not rushing. They're getting abreast of what is happening. So when you now come into the workspace, you see you have your master's, you see somebody who is an intern, the person does the job, who is just an entry level staff, does the job better than you. What you have is level of experience that you're able to navigate ethical dilemmas and things that need your brain. But when it comes to down to the smart tools, and that person is able to work with. So NGOs have volunteering. There's also UN volunteers where you register on the UN volunteers and then you put up your profile there. Then when they have volunteer positions in organization, maybe Cameroon now, or maybe Libya, and they need you to go down, your skill matches there, you go there and do the UN volunteering and come back. You can also, there's also some volunteers they look for that is remote. You're able to support them. And then government processes. So government agencies in Nigeria is that receive funds from donor agencies, and they do a lot of work, development work. Even if it's telecommunications, you are an ICT person that says some work you do there, and then are you able to come in voluntarily? That's your entryway. So you come in, this is an entryway for you to these spaces. You come in, that's an entryway that you acquire that skills at that level. And then when you are now coming in, and you're able to, because that's so important of networking in the modern day of work. You get jobs today by networking with people and telling them what I do, who I am, and what I bring to the table. And this gives you platform to do all of that. Internships. So typically, like a medical field, there's internship that's housemanship. And then when people think of that, they say, I've done internship as a pharmacist to get my license. Internship is a general word that exists just for you to come in and work temporarily and get the best of that environment. So consulting firms do this a lot. Some person starts, like I mentioned again, Leverations again do this from the IT you do, and when you come back, when you do finish maybe 100 level, instead of going back to home to do long back, look for a firm, do 1 month or 2 months internship, and you grab some knowledge of what is happening there. It's in your CV. You go back to school, continue. By the time you do 200 level, so by the time you get to 500 level, you have graduated, you have job experience already as an undergraduate. And when you put up your CVs to apply for job, the graduates who started after graduating, you are both the person. You are far beyond the person. You are, some of them are by the time you graduate founder level, when you see their CV, you see what is happening. And they're competing for higher roles, and you that just came and started today. Just there. Like I mentioned again, the future of work is global competition. So know how to compete. So banks do this, so they do internships too. Engineering firms do internships too. You know that this they also have them. So it's not limited to this. So if you Google internship there, so even tech firms do tech internships and all of that. When they do some boot camps, they do boot camps, software developing boot camp. When they finish those boot camps, they link you to organization to do it, and you do those internships. The work, what internship does for is that you apply the skills that you have learned, put it in practice so that you're able to retain the skill. Because another thing is getting a skill and then retaining that skill. If you don't retain a skill, the skill leaves you and you're not able to come back and use it later. Graduate training programs, things like organizations like CEPLAT, LY, KPMG, PwC, banks, and consulting firms and other advice firms do graduate training programs. So at that level of NYSC, that's something I tell young persons. Your NYSC is a very important point in your life. You don't, it's not, some people just go and do one PPA, sign PPA, and they go back home and 1 year. That's 1 year is a very lengthy time for you to have an interest because immediately after your NYC, if you've not positioned yourself earlier, you've not had that entry point position well, when you come out after NYC, you are competing with your mates who already have like 2 to 3 years work experience. You will see somebody that you finish the service with, the person puts us and you're seeing 3 years work experience. And you are just still starting to better your 1 year. So NYC, these are the opportunities for graduate trainees and internships. Young professional programs, the United Nations, World Bank, World Trade Organization, AFDB do things like young professional programs where you are able to, WHO does that too. Young professionals program where you go there, you're a young person, you apply for that program. What it does for you is that it's the entry point. Now, all this now, they pay you, but it's not about the pay, it's about being in the room, get your foot in the door. Because people have to know you. Now, a lot of jobs are by referrals and recommendations. So if somebody knows that you're able to do this, when your CV is submitted along the CVs of John Esther, they look at it, look for your CV because they know this person, I can attest to that skill. So how do I try performance measurement? Now, here we talk about performance measurements. You need to understand that the previous day of work where people go to the office and when did you sign in? When did you log out? Are you in the office? And they measure your output by that. That's no longer the same now. The KPIs have changed. So you need to also be measuring yourself, performance measurement. Measure yourself before the organization measures you. Yeah, so this is traditional performance KPIs of today. Traditional performance metrics versus new age indicators. So see what it says here, that the modern day KPIs have shifted from just measuring output and hours worked to reflecting productivity, impact, employee experience, adaptability, and sustainability. So what you are being judged on has changed. And so you need to stay afloat and have this information and realize that when you come to the office that it has changed, it's no longer the same. Because now, if there are no modern day KPIs, how do I ensure as an employer that somebody who lives in Abuja, who works from her home, is not there playing video games? So how do I ensure that? So that's why you have modern day KPIs. And so these KPIs are no longer monitoring, oh, was he on the screen? Oh, was he working? Oh, how long did this thing? No. Productive. Did you put out work? Did you produce? Are you productive? So that's KPI is checking now. It's no longer checking how long you are in the office and all of that. So look at some new age indicators. Productive performance, how output per employee. Quality and quantity of work delivered. What is the quantity of work you deliver and what is the quality of your work? Is it when you finish your work, somebody has to rework it and things like that? Task and project completion rate, percentage of goals achieved within deadlines. There are so many deadlines now, have to do this within this deadline. Are you able to meet that deadline? Because deadlines today don't wait for you. Let's say you have to put in a bid for a client and deadline is by 12 p.m. today. Once it's 12 p.m., they close the portal, they're not coming back to look for you. They don't know who you are. They don't care about who you are. So that deadline you're able to meet it. Billable versus non-billable. These are for consultants and professionals. So for consulting, you have what we call billable and non-billable. So did you do a work that you can charge? If you do not do a good number of work, quality of work that you charge, you won't get paid. So that is talks about. So time to deliver. What's the turnaround time when you're given a task? What's the turnaround time for you to complete that task and say, I'm done? Time to deliver is also important. Innovation rates. What are new ideas? When meetings are going on, what do you contribute? When they are brainstorming, when they're having brainstorming sessions, what do you contribute? What do you say? People that stay in the meetings. I've seen those memes on social media, me waiting for, then they ask, is there any questions? So I can say, no question. See, that's very funny because these days, money don't work at Binjo. Did you say anything or are you just waiting to say no question until you go back home and continue with it? So, percentage of new ideas, what you're saying, or how you're contributing, or your products coming from you is also being marked. Collaboration and hybrid work is next one. Collaboration, there's frequency and quality of teamwork. Your meaningful collaboration meetings again comes in here. Digital tool adoption rate. Are you able to use digital tools like Slack, Teams, Zoom, enterprise resource planning systems Some missions now do what they call end-to-end enterprise planning. So they recruit from there, they do appraisals from there, you do your work there. So are you able to use these tech platforms? Peer feedback, how easy it is to work with you? So all these I'm a tough person, yeah, so nobody, just stay clear. They also measure there. Your peers will give, so that's what the feedbacks now, they give there's downward feedback and upward feedback. So a younger person who, let's say, lower level staff is able to give feedback on the organ at the top. And then the organ at the top is also to provide feedback with too. And your peers also to give feedback on your work. So you need to understand. So if you're somebody that is difficult to work with, we've been brought into task, but people just leave it because they don't want stress again. It's no longer like before where people say, I'm a difficult person, so tolerate me. If I say drop it to drop it, shift from there. How easy are you to work with? It's very important. Cross-functional projects success rate. So the project you are working in and your contribution, what's the success of those? So now coming to learning and growth. So the firms now have KPIs of learning. Let's say in an FY fiscal year or in a year, you have to, or appraisal period, you have to attain 30 hours of learning, 40 hours of learning. Some have their own internal learning where they keep the platform to go and learn. Some can tell you if you don't have that and they have the KPIs, they can say, go and learn what's related to your role. And this also form part of your appraisals and part of your performance measurements. Skill development. So what new skills have you acquired even as you're working? What new skills have you acquired? And leadership profession. So leadership is also another important issue. And they're also judging you by how well are you able to lead projects? How are you able to influence people to do the work? How are you able to have that leadership? Leadership is a two-way thing. Collaboration leadership, collaboration is where you call you a good follower, you're a good leader. It's a two-way thing also. These are part of the new age indicators. And then let's talk about practical tips to help you try. Now we have told you what the key indicators are. So can we now help you to thrive better? What we did here was to help you understand that it's no longer business as usual. You're no longer measured by when you come into work and when you learn and when you clock in and when you clock out and then how many hours in the office and then the not go on leave. The KPIs have differed. And now practical tips, set and track your SMART goals. So have your goals at the beginning of have your goals. Break down these years into specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound tasks, and track your progress using relevant digital tools. Track your progress of these goals. Innovation and adaptability. So you can't process implement on new ideas suggested and implemented. Adaptability, how fast do you adjust to new tools? Problem solving, issues you solve within a particular time without escalating. So you're able to use your critical thinking to solve a problem without having to go disturb somebody who's sleeping. This does not mean that in firms where there are policies and there are protocols that you have to follow and at your level, some protocols or policies are not available to you. There are some of them that are available to your manager that you have to go to your manager to get that clarity. This does not mean that you don't have to go and get that clarity. You have to get that clarity because at that level, your manager has that approvals and he starts to do those stuff. So you also still have to follow that. But you understand that. So problems that can be within your reach, you solve those problems without escalating. Now, next one, can you try to keep a personal performance dashboard? It could be an Excel or your journal where you log, okay, task completed, skills learned from the task, feedback received on the task, recognition earned from the task, that is well done, thank you, you did well, all of that. Reflections on balance. So what did I do on this work that maybe in the next line of time of work, I do it differently. So if you have this kind of simple dashboard, you keep it there. It also helps you for maybe making your LinkedIn updates or maybe operating your profiles, or maybe when the appraisal period comes, they say, tell us what you have done. Just put that dashboard and then populate the information and go your way, because humans you have your brain, you can also forget as you're doing. But if you're keeping this kind of dashboard, it helps you to have that documented. So we are coming to gradually teaching So action plan for participants. Choose, number one is choose your digital tools and start building your profile. So explore career pathways and commit to one. Track progress towards a set timeline. Connect with mentors, peers, and online communities. This number 4 is very important. Networking. I don't like talking to people. I don't like making friends. No, it's not today. You have to connect with people. Connect professionally. So it's not meaningless talks. Connect professionally with people. Keep your network. Intentionally keep people. Intentionally keep some people in your contact. Keep them. So that whatever problems or whatever you need now, you're able to put up a phone call away. It's to say that your network is your net worth. So, and that is very important. That's your network today is your currency, your hard currency. So connect the mentors. This helps you to ask questions. Ask questions. Don't assume that you know it all. Ask people. Disturb people. Ask them what you need to know, what you don't know. And your peers, somebody who is the same class who might know something better than you. If you are not networking, you're not asking questions. You're doing that. And the person is carrying the knowledge. Unlike communities, there are groups, there are WhatsApp groups now. You're looking for a house, there's a WhatsApp group there, and you're talking there. Looking for how to learn how to use Slack. Well, there are some online communities like that you come in there and you're able to network with people. So I think we have a variety of audience. So now we'll try to do some practical. So you yeah. Okay, do I stop share? Okay, I want to share. Okay.
Yes, escape.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then
Go to.
I want to stop this.
okay.
No. Still share it.
Yeah. So here is just to can you confirm if you can see my screen? Lagos, Abuja, confirm if you are Lagos, Bauchi, confirm if you can see my screen. We're not showing the whole screen. Okay, I'm sharing the PowerPoint.
Okay.
You have to go back to stop.
We'll stop this and go back to this one to share this.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, go back to share. Then
Okay.
Yeah, so then share it. Yeah.
No,
It's not this page.
No, it's not this.
That's the page.
No, that's the page.
Oh, you're using his.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Are we following? Can you see my screen now? No way. Okay. So I've talked about LinkedIn. This is what's for yeah. So this is you see LinkedIn. So for the younger generations in the room, younger person in the room that maybe have not heard what it is, that's why I needed to show you. LinkedIn, this is where the website you go there, you log in. And this is a typical example of what it looks like. You can see this is somebody's profile. You have the profile there. You have your home is your own page. My network, this is people that have connected with you. Jobs, you can search for jobs here. People that sent you messages. Notifications, somebody liked your comments or you put up a post or somebody liked it. So this is the interface of LinkedIn and you are able to use it. So this is to help you familiarize with what LinkedIn, so that we're not just speaking English and you're not visualizing it. And then when we talk about Google Workspace, so this is what Google Workspace looks like. You can see your Gmail here, you can see your OneDrive, you can see your slide, you can see your calendar. So this is what Google Workspace and what it looks like. Over down here is meeting. So use it to have your meeting. So this is what Google Workspace looks like. And when we talk about Microsoft, so the recent one is Microsoft Office 365. You're able to see your Excel, your PowerPoint, your Planner, your Word, your SharePoint. SharePoint is where teams can put files like a cross-ready for files. So you put on files there, and then your colleagues from different where they are able to go there, work on that, access that document, and use it for their work. And then Power BI for data analytics is also domiciled by Microsoft. So you analyze data. I gathered data on the number of students in Abuja Secondary School, and I want to know their ages. I want to know their interests and all of that on their classes. You analyze it and have your simple dashboard of what is there. Visual Studios, where the people that work in tech use this a lot. Visual Studios. And then we've mentioned Canva. This is the website of Canva, and what does Canva look like? So that when I say Canva, so this is Canva, and you see it. So this is just to practicalize what we are saying, and not just telling you just okay.
Share.
So I hope people present physically, while you're trying to connect with online people, you understood what I meant. You are familiar now. If we talk about Google Workspace, you can relate to what Google Workspace is and all this. So you have your phones. You can also explore beyond here what these spaces are. So when you have your phones, you check that. So before we go into questions and answers, I will ask a round of questions. People present, you can answer. People online, can they use chat box or?
Yes, they can.
Okay, good. So first question is, what challenges do you face in the digital workforce? And second is one, which of the tools or platforms you mentioned have you used before? And the last one is, what's one step you will take this week? Because we want to have action plan. What's one step you take? So the floor is open. We can take your responses, present, online, whichever works.
That's good.
Okay, let's put our hands together for.
We'll stop this guy now.
No, I'm not done. Okay. I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were taking questions.
And just this question is for you. It's still part of the presentation.
Okay, so please, for those in the other spaces, please take note of these questions for you. I'm sure we'll come back to them, but he will still continue his presentation.
Okay, so this is call to action for you to tell you that you are the future of work and empower yourself digitally. Choose your path and start today. This is the call for action. So it's not that when we have finished all this talk we're talking now, you just go back to your house and you sit down again. Understand, like I mentioned over and over, that the competition has increased because of the global village where we are now, and the future of work have changed. So start today. So thank you. Now we can go to the questions. You can respond to my question and then ask the follow-on questions you have.
Okay, so we'll just let him sit down for a few minutes. Sorry, can you move to the other seat? Please, let's put our hands together for the presenter. Okay, so I'm going to take the podium and moderate the question and answer sessions. For those of you in the other spaces, you know how we do it. If you can't speak out, then please type in your questions in the chat box and then we'll read it and he'll respond to that. Please raise your virtual hands in case you have questions, and I will call you and ask you to ask your question. So maybe we should start from American Center Abuja, since you're present here. So we'll start the question from here. From there, we'll go to do say. So once again, put your hands together for the presenter. Thank you very much. Yes, Abuja, let's hear your question.
Yes, thank you very much for a very insightful presentation. My question is response to the first one is the ability to use this tool and this tool and this tool to produce a certain work that has been a challenge, like combining Canva and Google Workspace, to deliver a certain work in the different software. So the ability to move in between those spaces was the challenge in the entry point of using it for work purposes.
Okay, so for that, what I would say is you measure in one, because sometimes if it depends on what you're going to do, the organization are using Google Workspace, that's what they use. The organization are using Microsoft, that's what you use. So for organization understand, when it comes to specific organization, understand what they are using and verse with those tools. And what I say again is ask questions, because some of your colleagues know how to use this better than we do. Let them guide you. And you can also go online and take some courses on. It's not a bad thing to take courses on Excel. You can go and take a course on how to use Excel.
So can you close that? We'll take it afterwards. We'll get that.
Same.
That was then.
Okay.
That was the beginning.
Okay, so that's back to what I'm saying. There's nothing bad with going to take a course on how to use Outlook. Go there, take that course and know how to. And then compare it to Canva. If your role does not involve designs, but you want to use Canva to do presentations soon, you can also learn it, take courses on it and learn it. Devote that hours of learning to learn, because the hours you devote to learning will now shorten the hours you do your work, because you're able to use those things. So that's the one I'll tell you. When you have learned how to use them, combining them won't be a difficult thing, because when you have learned them, you know that I'm putting up a slide. What do I use? Do I use PowerPoint? Do I use Canva? You go straight to use Canva, and Visual makes it faster.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Dute. Dute, can you unmute and ask your question, please? Yes, Dute.
Yes, sit down. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Salim Ahmed from USinNigeria, and we really enjoying this great program. It's been an honor, great honor to be here, and I'd like to ask my question, which is which upskilling platform have you found most effective? Like, what are the steps to build an effective investment portfolio based on the upskilling platforms?
Okay. Yeah, that's all your
No.
question?
Yes, we got your question.
I got your question.
Okay, shall I? What are the steps to build an effective investment portfolio based on the upskilling platforms?
Okay, he has heard your question, please. So he's going to respond.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so your first question is which upskill platform do I find most convenient to use? So I mentioned EDX, I mentioned Coursera. All of them are easy to use. It depends on what you're now looking for. Udemy. So The best way to start is your Google. So which course are you, do you have a particular course you are looking for? And then you Google that course and see where it pops. If it pops up on Coursera, you go there. I've practically used all of them, and they're also easy to use. I've used EDX, I've used Fusion Learn, I've used Coursera, I've used Udemy. So it depends on the particular course you're looking for. It is course specific. So the websites are user friendly, they're easy for you to use. So remember that I said that there are two modes: either you audit the course or you now do to completion, where you have to access some scholarship. But specifically for scholarship, Coursera and EDX have the scholarships. You can also check Udemy. I haven't really used Udemy for paid courses, but I'm sure that for Coursera and EDX, I've used them for scholarships, for courses that got 90% scholarship. I was able to complete it. So that is easy to use.
Thank you. Let's go to Zaria.
I think he has a second question.
No, we'll take one for now.
Okay,
we have quite a number, and then we have some questions online. Please go straight to the question. Thank you for your greetings and all that. Just make it 2-minute questions so that we can go around. If we have enough time, we'll come back again to the various spaces. Thank you. Zaria, over to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kawa Muhammad. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My question is, sometimes finding the right people to network with can be very difficult. How can one approach, enhance, and manage those connections that he has and he is interested in? And another question is, sometimes those courses that we have in Coursera, Udemy, they are kind of lengthy. I don't know, maybe there's a way that one can maybe join the students and then all these courses together and then manage them together. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, response to your question, how do I network? The first of all, for networking, I want to identify what is your goal for networking. And when you identify your goal for networking, you not identify who are the people in this field. This is why LinkedIn also work good. So let's as a supply chain specialist now go on LinkedIn and search people who are doing supply chain. Let's say you are doing gender-based violence advocacy and you want somebody to network and mentor. You go and search people on LinkedIn who are doing gender-based violence advocacy. So you're able to understand what they are. Then when you are reaching out, one of the mistakes people also make is when trying to know what people is that it makes somebody not to be interested in you. So when you want to send somebody who you have not known before a message, you start with hi, that's a message. You come back, you say, I am John. You go again, you say, I want this. No, by the time the person is want to, the person is tired. So compose your message, put your name, put what you want, put everything in one text, drop it. The person reads it and gets what the person, what you're asking, and the person gives you response, and then that's everybody all just right. You're able to work effectively, because if you drop that kind of person, if you drop that kind of message for you, have understanding that people are still learning how to respond to you. There are people who won't say anything to you, they just leave you, and that's the end. That's. And the second question was the next one was on lengthy courses. Yeah, so lengthy courses. So I would say there's no hack to this one, because depends. Check that course that you want to take and check the length of the course if you don't have the time. Another place you can utilize for learning is YouTube. I know YouTube, people go to YouTube and watch videos. Let me tell you, you can do a full course on YouTube, learn a full skill on YouTube and come back, and then you have learned that. I know somebody who started software developing. She was a teacher and she wanted to learn software development, to pause from teaching. She started from YouTube to learn, then move from there to bigger platforms. You can also use YouTube, watch videos. People are writing IELTS today, writing GRE today. You can get hacks on YouTube. So if you find out that your time is not big enough for you to finish all the courses, however, it's still important. You can start from YouTube to get the basics. Then when you now move to advanced and more, you have gotten the basics, you can now try to devote to the courses. And also, try to plan your schedule better if timing is what is difficult for you. Particular course, you can set a timeline to that course. You can do 1 hour a day or 30 minutes a day. Why it's important is that even when you are working, if your KPI is based on learning, nobody's giving you extra time to go and do those learning. You have to do the learning as well as the work. So how do you plan your calendar to be able to now devote 30 minutes to learning, then come back and do your work? So planning is the key, and then using other platforms to lay foundation before you move on is the second thing.
Thank you very much for that. While Benin is getting ready, I wanted to also add more to what he just said about planning, about timing. I think this is why we're having this youth development series, for us to learn how to actually apportion our time to do what we have to do. They say nothing good comes easy, right? So if we're key on winning, then we have to move away from our convenience zone and be able to put more work into what we think it will be good for us in the future. So thank you very much for that advice. And that goes to Abuja Center members. You send WhatsApp and just say, hey, good morning. I'll talk to you. I'll say, who is that? Always put your name. It's very, very important, so that it will not be that you're just talking to someone who doesn't have a name. But when somebody is serious, the person reveals his or her identity. I think even in social media, you always say, is this a robot or something like that? You have to
even LinkedIn, reaching out on LinkedIn, reaching out anywhere. Compose all you want to say, compose it and put it.
So it's very important for us to learn that. I think it's very popular among the young people. They are not very particular about, mentioning their names and giving a complete sentence and stuff like that. So thank you very much for that response. Let's go to Benin. Benin, are you ready? After Benin, we'll take Enugu.
Okay. Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. You partially answered my question on fears, because I have this fear of there's a lot to learn in tech. How do I start? The way I've learned to, I'm yet to still kind of put my materials together, and they are like bulky, different areas. And I want to say, online, help me with a link where I can also get courses on GIS, because it's related to my field a lot and it's very, very necessary to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benin. You want to say? Okay. Enugu, please ask your question. If Enugu is not ready, we'll take Maiduguri.
My question is regarding the video pitch you mentioned on that theory of digital portfolio. Could you provide more information for that?
Enugu, are you there? Okay. We'll take Maiduguri then. Maiduguri, go ahead.
Okay. Good day, sir. You actually made mention of Coursera courses for upskilling, in which I am actually interested in it. So I think some few months back, I actually enrolled on a course in Coursera, which has to do with what? Data analysis. So before I was actually enrolled into this course, I was actually asked to pay a certain amount of money, I think in dollars, which actually amounted to 20,000 per month for a certain period of time. So you made mention of having audits to Coursera courses. And my second question is that, why is it that when I was actually learning these courses from Coursera, I was actually finding it difficult to actually comprehend with what they were actually saying and with what they actually gave me?
Okay, thank you. So one thing about courses online is that they are designed with a curriculum of universities, and they're not maybe they're not adapting you to. They're not saying, okay, you are medical, let's design what. They design what everybody, wherever you are in the globe, will relate to. So yes, you have to. One advice I give you when you're doing courses is maybe you can try to find somebody who is also doing the same course with you, who understands it better to be able to, who understands it from another perspective to explain. Another thing is that if you are doing a particular course on Coursera, and maybe Coursera is not giving you what you want, check other platforms, go to EDS and see if EDS is giving you a better delivery, or is FutureLearn giving you a better delivery, or is it even YouTube that will solve your problem so you don't have to start going this, or is it LinkedIn? So check around for where you find that course easier to take so that you use that. And then network and find out, ask, and like I said again, ask questions. Is there anybody who is taking this because I'm taking it? Please, I need help. It's as simple as that. Maybe there's somebody who is also taking it, and that person is able to explain certain concepts to you.
Or maybe AI too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're in the modern of AI today. Ask AI too. Sometimes AI likes basics for you these days and gives you formats.
Is it possible to get courses maybe in other languages? Maybe for those who don't understand English.
I don't think on the platform. I don't think everybody. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Medikuri. Let's go to Bauchi. Yes, Bauchi, we can't hear you. If Bauchi is not ready, we can take Uyo. Bauchi, we can't hear you. We can take Uyo. We'll come back to you, Bauchi, when you are ready.
Okay. Good everybody. Yeah. Please, my question is about after you. For me personally, I went into tech skill since the 22, and then since then.
Bauchi, can you mute, please?
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me? I take off from so since then I've learned.
So Bauchi, please mute. Thank you. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, I take off from that stuff. I said I've learned several skills. I was able to take a course with Alex, which gave me the fundamentals, and then I moved to digital marketing on Coursera. At the end, I took a course, I took exams, proctored exams by Meta, which was very difficult. Then I was able to pass. I was certified. There were job requests on LinkedIn when I never had been ready for it. So presently I'm ready, but not only that I am a certified digital marketer, I also took courses on data science and data analysis, and I want to yeah, my question is this. Come on. Yeah, my question is this. Now that I'm searching for jobs, actually looking for jobs, like remote jobs, the challenge I'm having is this one. Like the person that responded to me the other week said that they are taking candidates or applicants from US and Canada that are residing there, or citizens of Canada that have a work visa. So my question is, how do we overcome this challenge? Because yeah, it's one thing to have the skill, another thing that there's a barrier that will not allow you to have the job.
Okay, thank you for that question.
Okay, thank you. Your challenge is not something strange, but all I would say is, before you start looking for ones that require visa, have you looked for the ones that are present here in Nigeria for you to do? Because you have acquired the skills. First of all, you need to. I mentioned things like internship, things like internship there. You really looked out for areas where maybe they offer internships in your field or boot camps in your field, so that you're able to come in there And when you are around, it also gives you opportunity to network. So when you come in there, you also network and see people who are doing in your field. How did they thrive? How did they survive? But I also, apart from that, start from where you are. Things about location specific and work visa. Those are immigration things that happen for countries, and there's no immediate solution for that. We will continue having immigration issues and reciprocity for countries, and that's in place. But find a way around where you are, what you can currently get, internships and all of that, so that you have laid the foundation first for the work, and then before you now start, you're going to scale the immigration hurdles.
So thank you. Let's go back to Bauchi. Bauchi, are you ready? Bauchi, what's happening?
Hello. Okay. Can you hear us, ma'am?
Yes. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. So actually, I'm an architect and I've fully embraced this digital transformation. My question, however, is a challenge. I usually use like 3 softwares in my designs. And the problem I'm facing, I don't know whether it's the PC I'm using, it's storage. I have a lot of stuff that sometimes the storage just keeps me up down. So how can I go about it, please?
Okay, Bauchi. The issue of storage is not peculiar to you. People, a lot of people have issue with storage. Number one is once issue storage, that check the files you have, and then check for the files that are no longer useful to you and send them out. And then you can get external drives to help back up your storage. And there's cloud storage today also, which requires you to go and subscribe to cloud storage too. Explore if that works for you, so that you can subscribe for cloud storage. I know if you're using an iPhone, sometimes your iCloud is full and they ask you to come and subscribe for more space. Even Google self, your Gmail is full, they ask you to come and pay for cloud. So you can store to the cloud. That means find what works for you and do that. And if you don't want to go through your files, where it's not necessary, send it out. And also you can have an external drive where your documents are arranged inside.
Thank you. We have a question from Macaulay.
What can I do to build an online presence, and which social platform is the best? There's no best social platform. One thing I tell people today is that you see Twitter that we are using, people go to Twitter and they're doing trolls there. If you use Twitter very well, professionally, you are going to get good output from it. However, for the first platform if it's a workspace, is LinkedIn. Start with LinkedIn to put up your good profile there and network and talk to on LinkedIn. The other social media, Facebook, all of that. If you use it professionally, you're also going to get benefit from it. So if you go there and then you watch videos and you come back, that's it. If that's what you're looking for to use it for, it might not serve you. And you can also check what fits you. If you're somebody who LinkedIn is better off for professional purposes, use it. So that's how to maintain your online presence. There's no best social platform. It depends on what purpose you're using it for and how you are using it.
Okay. Then we have a question from Enugu. You want to address that?
Regarding the video pitch mentioned on that video, could you provide more information or caption on that? I didn't get a clear understanding of it. Okay, so video pitch is that I mentioned earlier what we call the elevator pitch. Elevator pitch stems from the fact that somebody's a digital marketer here, and since they do provide digital marketing services to the company, and you walk into an elevator, you see like somebody looks like a CEO, a special CEO. And you're able to, within the time that the elevator moves from the ground floor to the 4th floor, your 2nd floor where you're going to, you're able to, within that short time frame, communicates your value to that CEO, and that CEO is able to give that. So that is what because we're a digital space now, the video pitch is coming for you to do. So you use that same video, that same information you pass to somebody in an elevator, you put it in a video, put your name, talk about the services, talk about the value proposition you are bringing to the table, and then you put it up. We can also talk about the works you have done and everything about your educational backgrounds in that video. You will see this video pitch a lot when you're applying for maybe schools abroad. You see those maybe video interviews, they ask you questions, you answer. That's a video pitch, you answer these questions. So the one that reviewing, they view the video and then listen to you. So that's how video pitch works.
So I think he has explained this over and over, but we're also going to have other practical sessions where you will see examples of what this elevator video pitch actually looks like. Maybe if we had time today, we would even have somebody maybe demonstrate. It's just like telling somebody about what you do in a very short time. You know, when you enter the elevator, maybe you're going to the first floor, it only take how many minutes? 2 minutes, 3 minutes to get there. So they ask you, what do? You meet Dangote there, and you want Dangote to remember you when he leaves the elevator. What are you going to tell him? Say, hey, sir, you know that your truck has been jamming people in out. Is that what you're going to tell him? No, but let's say you're a young graduate and you know that this is Dangote you're in the elevator with. What are some of the things you're going to tell him? If you're an engineer or you're a recruitment firm, for instance, you would talk to him about how your organization recruits good drivers, right? Mm-hmm. Drivers who have their driver's license and all that. And he will remember that because now you're addressing a particular challenge where he actually needs you. But if you're there shouting, oh, your truck is killing people in Auchi, like he wouldn't even want to remember that he has met you in the elevator. But you want him to remember, oh, I remember that young man that I met in the elevator. Can you please look for him for me? That's how you get it. So those are the kind of elevator pitch he's talking about. We have video pitch also. You have to do a video where you have just 2 minutes to be able to convince your customer or prospective client on some of the things that you do. How do you make good use of it? So these are some of the things he's talking about. When we come to other sessions with other facilitators also, they're going to give us practical ideas of how some of this thing works. He also demonstrated how you use the Google Meet, the Google, all that. We have somebody who also demonstrated and make use of some of these things. So I would advise that after today, please don't throw this away. Go back and try to make use of those things so that when you come for another session, you'll be able to see maybe where you have questions or where you have tried and made mistakes for another facilitator to be able to clarify that. So thank you very much for that. We'll go to Ikeja. We have just about 10 minutes to round up. So Ikeja, quickly. After Ikeja, we'll take American Center, Lagos.
Thank you so much for this opportunity and the learnings. Too, I understand that this training caters to learners from across the country. I was hoping that the time will come when possibly there'll be breakout sessions rather than what looks more like a GST, general course, where all of us are catered to irrespective of our respective needs. I personally was interested in a face-to-face interaction with my tutor because there are a number of courses all over the place. We subscribe to some of them. So I was coming to interact and interface with my tutor on a one-on-one basis. I don't know if rooms will still be given if in the course of this 8-week teaching, that opportunity will still come for us to have that interaction because there are areas that I personally would be interested in. I was hoping for these hand-holding sessions where we'll be taken through, but I know the duration of the course may not allow for that. I don't know if in the course of this 8-week period, allowance will be given to that. And secondly, in the course of the previous class, there was this point that was raised of collaborations. I don't know if there'll be a collation of contact. I don't know if if the organizers of this training are able to make a room for that work collaboration, because I know that I may be new to this, but I know that some persons in this training who are gurus who only need to be padded here and there. If that collaboration can take effect from this training. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ikeja. It looks like you missed my point because that was just what I finished saying, that we're going to have practical sessions in the course of this 8 weeks. So I think I even answered your question before you asked. Yes, even in the volunteerism one, we had practical session where we had people volunteer at various spaces to help us do one thing or the other. So practical session is something that we actually promote in the youth development series. So you're in American spaces, everyone is in a space where we have laptops, we have computers, where we have network, where we can have people have their hands on some of these things. So yes, you're going to have an opportunity to be able to do that as well. And then you talked about collaboration. Once we come here, is already networking session. So we don't expect that you come into a space and then listen and then just walk out and go. You will meet a lot of people in the space. It's very important for you to interact with them, to talk with them. And some of them, we have members also in the various spaces. You can ask your director there. These are people who constantly come there. So perhaps this is your first time. Please come again so that you begin to meet people and form partnerships in the various spaces that we have. So feel free, talk to the director. So you will be put on the emailing list also, and you can build partnership from there. That's why we bring people together. And as you can see, we have over 28, 30 American spaces across Nigeria. That's why you're talking here in Ikeja, you're talking to me here in Abuja. So those alone are collaborations that we do as well. So thank you very much on that. We have a question from Meduguri online, and we're going to take that quickly.
Okay, so Meduguri, in a digital space where scammers are all over the time, how can we differentiate between real and legit employers and scammers? This is a very interesting question. What I would say is check the company that is trying to employ you. I know people that do remote work, this happens a lot. So, but always pay attention to look out for the digital footprints of that company that you are trying to get work. And also something when I mentioned Glassdoor area earlier before this talk, to go and check what are the reviews of that company. So if you want to know between these ones, check digital footprint, check reviews for that thing. That was a very important website that existed before, and a platform that existed before now, but I think it is modern day. It's called Naira Land. So now if you want to check, is there a job site, is there a job employer that's a scammer? Go and type their name in Naira Land. I'm sure you're going to see 1,001 persons talking about who they are in Naira Land. And you will read it. When you read it for yourself, you come back and go your way. So, and also when you are in doubt of an employer, so you are very in doubt, check again and their links and everything. If it's not very confusing to you, maybe you can take a step back. And one thing you can also look at, in cybersecurity, it's called phishing and all of that. Can you take courses on how to identify just such phishing emails? And they also do phishing text messages today. My uncle died in America and have $10 million to share. Because that when you see such of that, And so employers, when you read that, they come to your emails. When you read some conversation in a letter or an email, if you are cyber aware, you're able to see that. Oh, this is not it. And then when it's too good to be true, maybe it's not true. So be careful of that also. When you see certain things, check, is it too good to be true? Is it realistic? If it's not, have some caution there.
I think a very good example to that is sometimes you don't apply for a job. You don't even have that portfolio. For instance, maybe you read English and they're telling you that they're giving you an IT job, maybe in a company that you didn't even apply for. And some of us fall into that. Some of us even have heard people who travel all the way to another state to attend an interview for a job that you never applied. So these are things that we actually have to watch out for, look out for. And I think everybody can testify that from the emails that you will see even the English sometimes doesn't make sense. You know, for instance, how can someone tell you that his brother in America that he has $10 million he wants to share with you? How? From where? You know, so these are things that you should be able to look out for and be able to identify some of these scammers. Sometimes, if you even know people who work there, you can check with them. For instance, for the US Embassy, we always say, if you want information, don't hear them say, go to the US Embassy website and check for that information. Talking about visa, go to the visa portal and check for that information. But some of us, we don't like to read, we don't like to go to the website. We just want to hear, what did they say? Gossip. We prefer to get from people around us, from our friends, than for us to go online and check. So another thing is for us to go to the legit site to go and check to avoid scammers, especially in terms of employment. They know that young people are desperate, they're looking for job, and so they will, help you spend your hard-earned money. So we should be careful about that. So lastly, American Center Lagos. We started with Abuja. Let us close with American Center Lagos. I saw your hands up earlier on. Yes, let's have
Yeah, so she says someone has already asked question and it's been taken care of.
Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. Once again, let's put our hands together for the Thank you, Pharm. Abuja is honored to have you here. At this point, I will hand over the mic to my colleague, Samuel Ede in Lagos.
All right, thank you so much, pharmacist Ifeakandu Ume, for this awesome presentation. And I am so sure that after this, a lot of us will take advantage of what we have learned and reinvent ourselves to be better off in what we do. So please, everyone, can you please help me put your hands together once again for the pharmacists? Thank you so much. And now, please, can you clap for yourself? I don't know if Grace spotlighted the Abuja Center. They seem to be the major people I'm seeing on my screen, but I want to appreciate your candor, your professionalism, and the way you carried yourself in that hall. Thank you so much. And to every other person across the country, thank you. Just to let you know once again that all this has come free of charge, courtesy of the US mission in Nigeria. And this is one of the things that the US government is doing to make us better. Like the title of the program is Youth Development Series, to develop ourselves so that we could be better off. And I'm sure, like Grace and the first also have mentioned, the world is more global a village today than it was yesterday, with tech, with AI, and information. And the more we develop ourselves and put ourselves in positions where we can compete favorably, regardless of the boundaries and the distance, the better it is for us. So once again, I appreciate you all for coming. Please, just to let you know, to reiterate, you will get a certificate for attendance if you participate 80% of the time. So out of the 8 weeks, this is the second week. So if you attend at least about 6 out of the 8, you will get a certificate of attendance. And so please, we want to beg you, clear your calendars off every Tuesday, 1:30 to say 3:30 for this awesome series. And it's getting better by the week. I wouldn't want to mention some of the facilitators that will be coming up in the subsequent weeks, but please be here to learn a lot and be better off. So thank you once again for coming. And don't forget to always visit any of the American places. It is free of charge. You have access to books, you have access to computers with internet facilities, you have access to environment that is cozy, not at least cozy with air conditioners. I wish we could offer you drinks every time you appear, but sorry about that. But once in a while, I'm sure we could always make that provision. So please visit anyone around you, especially encourage your brothers, your sisters, or anyone that is a student. Now the schools are on summer break. Let them not sit at home and watch telly or movies. Let them once in a while visit any of the spaces to better off their lives by getting knowledge. So thank you once again for coming. And at this point, I want to say bye-bye and enjoy the rest of the day.